Hello everyone, welcome back to Netcode-Hub channel. In this video, we are going to talk about using a web API with the help of Entity Framework core to access a page using the skip and take method. So, we're going to talk about pagination. So, in this case, you're going to create an API project whereby you're going to specify a page number. As soon as you pass in the page number, it's going to go to the database and grab the page that we have specified or the data that we have specified for each page. Then it's going to display that in the API. So that is what we are going to talk about using the two methods, that is the skip and take method. So what you have to do here is we have to create a new project. So you can just go to File and New Project. Then search for an API project, that is a web API project, and you can actually create that. So that's over here, web API project. Okay, now once you are done, I have my project here and we need to install some packages. That is what you're going to use for this pagination, and we have to install the Entity Framework core.SqlServer and what that is a tools as well. So right click on dependencies folder and then click on manage Nuget packages. We are going to install the following packages. So click on the browse tab and I'll try to install these packages from there. So we need Entity Framework core, we need Entity Framework.SqlServer. So we need first, and we need this, you need .SqlServer, and we need .Tools. So these three packages, install them at the browse tab. And we are working in the .NET Framework 7.0. That's what actually we are working on. Okay, so once you have this installed, we are good to go. The next thing that we want to create here is let's create a database connection. So let's click on the app settings.js or .json, and now let's create a connection here. Now in order to create connection, we're going to specify the connection string over here. Now with this connection string, let's give it a name. So we say default connection, and now with this default connection we specify the server as, so here our server is local, so local host, then our database name is pagination, so let's make it as pagination. Then we have trusted okay, so we need to add trusted connection, trusted underscore connection. Let's set this to true, and also trust server certificate. So trust server certificate. Let's also set this to true. Now once you are done, let's specify, let's call this. So let's copy this default connection. Let's save that. So rebuild. So we save this. Now the next thing that we have to do here, let's save this. Let's go to program.cs file, and now with this program we are going to specify a connection. We're going to register our connection here. So in order to do it, we're going to specify, so builder.services.addDB contest. Then we're going to create a class or a module known as appdb, so appdb contest, and let's pass this. Now in here we need to specify some options, so we set this as options. Then we are saying option.use SQL server. So in this, that's where we need to specify our connection string. So builder.configuration.get connection string. So that is over here, and now we pass in the name of the connection string. So that's the connection, that's the registration that we've done. So let's copy this appdb contest, save this, and so let's save this. Okay, and now let's go Solution Explorer. Now let's add a folder to this. So let's click on add now a new folder, and let's rename this as data let's create a class and we give it a name as appdb contest. So click add, and now the name here is going to be appdb contest. Let's click on add. So that is where we are now. So this class, we're going to create a connection in here. So in order to have a database connection, this class must inherit from db contest. So db contest file. Now with this db contest file, we first have to specify this. So right click this, let's create a constructor and pass in the base class. So generate constructor with this options, and let's specify our appdb contest here. Alright, so let's create a table, and that's going to be db set. We pass in employee model, then we name this as employees. Now you see, do we have this model? No, we are not. So we have to go in there and create this model. So let's copy this. Let's copy this. Then we go to our project, right click, let's create a folder called models. So add folder, and the name is going to be models. Let's create a class. So add a class, and now the name supposed to be employee. Now with this class, we first want to have employee ID. So that's going to be an integer. Then the next one is going to be string. Let's go in for employee name. So that is string. Now the next one, let's give it age. So and now this is going to be also an integer, and now it's going to be age. Okay, so we have these three properties here. Let's maintain only this. We may have more than this, but for the purpose of this video, let's maintain only these three properties here. Okay, let's save that. Now the next thing that we have to do is quite simple. So let's save it again. So that's a hot. Restart. Let's save this. So okay, now the next thing that we have to do, let's go to our employee, that's the db contest. So control plus period, then let's use this model. Alright, so we have this. Now let's use control plus period. Let's use that. So now let's save this, and now we are good to go. Alright, now let's check here. So we need to make cannot apply changes. Object reference not set to an instance. So alright, don't worry. Now what you have to do next here, let's create a controller. So let's create a controller here. So right click in the controllers folder, and now let's add a controller, and that's going to be an employee controller. So go for API and empty one, and now we go in for an employee controller. So employee controller. Alright, so let's first create a constructor and inject our appdb contest class. So create a constructor here, and now inside that constructor, let's inject our appdb contest file. So db contest, then let's rename it, use an object as appdb contest. So control plus period, let's create an assign field. Now this is ready. So what you have to do here is we are going to create, first we need a DTO. Now this DTO, what it's going to do is going to get us the page number, the current page, and the list of these employees. So right click on this, let's create a DTO. So add a folder again, and now it's DTOs. So with this DTO, let's create a response DTO. So add a class, and now it's going to be a response DTO. Now with this response DTO, first we want to have an integer, and that's going to be pages. So the number, this is going to hold the number of pages that we have. Aside from that, we want to have the current page. Now aside from having the current page, so there's going to be a list of this model. So a list of the model that we want to get, we name this as employees. Then we can actually initiate this, so equal to new, then can go for this list to initiate this. So we're going to have a list of this, the employee model here, current page as well, and now the pages that we're going to pass in that. So we can actually set this to a page. Let's save this, and let's go in for the employee controller. Now in here, what do you have to do after injecting the connection model? We have to specify, so HTTP get, and here we need to specify a verb, then we pass in the page. So we're going to receive this page from the user. Now when we receive, so public async, that's going to be a task, since we're getting from the database. Task is going to be an action result. So action result, then this action result, you're going to have a list of employee. So that's a model. Now get employees. Then in here we need to specify a page. Okay, so we're going to pass in the page. Then we're going to use that page to get the data in the database. So control plus period. Let's inject this model. Now in here, what you have to do here is let's store. So alright, so let's create a variable as page results. So page results. So in each page you want to display 3 employees. Now with this, let's have a page count. Now this page count is equal to math.ceiling. So then with this ceiling, we want to grab the appdb context, so dot, now this employees dot count. So we count the employee here, then we divide by, so number of employee divide by page results. So page results over here. Okay, so this is going to give us the page count. Now once we have this, let's create our employees. So let's get our employees here. So var employees is equal to, we use the await keyword, then appdb context dot employees. So here we need to apply the skip method. Now we want to skip the current page minus 1, so the page number minus 1. Okay, then we want to multiply by, let's convert this as an integer, then page results. So we typecast that into page results. Then after doing this, we can now apply dot tick. Okay, so let's see if we have any error here. It means with this skip, you have to pass in one more. So dot, then skip, right, to go for tick instead. So dot tick. Now with the tick 2, we have to first convert this as an integer. So let's also open a bracket here, then page results. So page results, page results. So then we convert this to list. So to list async, and that is over here. So let's actually say it well. We can now terminate that. Okay, so we are using the skip. We skip the number current page minus 1. Then we multiply by the page results. Okay, so we're going to skip that. Aside from that, we take the next page result. So now you know page result is 3. 3 times 1. So we're going to, here we have page. So this page, we're going to, this is the page results times 3, right? So let's say we have the current page as 1. 1 minus 1. Now we're going to have this 3 over here. Okay. Then we take the next 3. So we skip 3 and take 3. That's when we go to the next page, page 2. Now it is page 3. We skip the 3 pages here. Then we take the next 3 data over here. So that is it. Now, once you have this, we have to create, so let's say var response is equal to new response DTO. So response DTO. Now with this response DTO, we are going to, now this employee is equal to this employees object. Now current page is equal to the page that we have here. Page we have, then pages or page is equal to, let's typecast this as integer, then we go in for the page counts. Page count. So let's terminate this here, and we can now return. We can return OK and pass in the response. Okay, so we are done, and we need to now perform migration. So let's do that. And now how do you perform migration? Let's go to Tools, then Nuget package, or click on the package console. So in here, let's clear screen first. So CLS, and now let's add dash migration. Let's call this initial. Now let's wait for it to build it. So this is going to generate a file for us with the help of the Entity Framework core. So we have the file generator, as you can see from the initials. So let's update the database. So let's update that. So now it is done now. Let's run application and see what we have now. So we click on this to load this application. Then let's see if we're going to have, next we have employee with a page. But if, let's try it out. So the current page is 1. Execute. Let's see. So you can see we have page. So page 0. Current page is what? 1. So the number of pages that we have here, it is 0. Current page is 1. There's no data. So let's see. Click on SQL Server Explorer. Refresh it. Open, and now open the last one. Open database. Now you can see we have Pagination database here. So in the table, you can see we have these employees. Right click, and now let's go to View Data. Now let's try to pass in some data here. So we pass in Fred. Now the age, let's pass in. So let's give it sample names. So give it sample names over here. Then you move on with that. Okay, so let's say we have this over here. Now let's save this. Let's make some changes in where we have our model. So our employee model, and that is a response DTO. So with this, let's set the accessors first, and let's set this at get and set. Let's save this, and now let's build this solution. Now let's run this. Okay, so let's pass in try now, and now let's pass in of 1 execute. So page 1, you want to execute and get the trail. So you can see we have 1, 2, 3. So that's the 1, 2, 3. Now you see the pages is what? 3. The current page is 1. So we have 3 pages and the current page is 1. Let's pass in 2 execute, and now you can see we have the current page is 2. Now the pages is 3, and that's the third page. So that's the current page. Let's add the last one. So execute, and you can see we have only 1 page 3 and current page is 3. Alright, so you can see that is a way to get data from the user or by getting the pagination. So you can see we're able to use the skip and tick in our controller to get the page by getting it by using the skip and now tick. Alright, so that is it for this video. I believe this is clear. Okay, so this method is there to actually get us all employees, and that is what you see over here. So get all employee, and now this is going to give us the list of employees that we have. So this is going to give us all employees here. By the first one here, we pass in the page number, and we have the particular data for that page. Remember that here we set the page size to what? 3. So it means every page we want to have 3 employees. I believe this is clear. This code will be available at the GitHub, and I'll put the link in the description below, so you can just go in there and grab them as well. Thank you guys for watching. I believe this is cool. Yes, and I'm going to see you in the next video.